everybody, I'm Sarah, Lonesome Glory, and today we're going to do a quick video, I hope, unboxing some things that have been piling up around here while talking about this year's BreyerFest special runs. So let's get started. I'm not going to talk too much about the things that I'm unboxing. I'm just going to kind of show them to you while we talk about the BreyerFest horses. So we'll see all of those in due time, but to start with, we want to talk about this year's BreyerFest celebration model, Tight Lines. I think they did a really cool thing with this horse. They made him special for their 75th anniversary of Breyer, not BreyerFest, by giving him his blanket. And for what it's worth, I'm going to call him Fish from here on out because I think that is the best nickname for a horse. But I think Fish is pretty cool. We know we're going to see a glossy version of it as the prize for the diorama contest. So we'll see what that looks like. And you guys know here that everything looks better in glossy. And Mom and Aunt Linda and I are working on our entries for the diorama contest. I'll show those to you once they're done. So I think Fish is really cool. I think the cigar mold looks really nice on him. They haven't used that for a BreyerFest special yet, so it's kind of cool to see something different. After that, Breyer announced the, oh, this is a long one. Breyer announced the single day stablemates, what they used to be called. They now just call them the event stablemates. They are Bellini, Mimosa, Cava, and Prosecco. They're appealing to the part of me that is standing at her bar opening horses, which is kind of fun. I really like the molds that they chose. I think that the mix is really nice. I'm really excited to see Prosecco. I'm a bit of a sucker for a black Appaloosa, and I think that mold is super cute. So he's probably my favorite, although right behind him would be Bellini, I think. So special runs this year. They have 9 different ones, which I think is about par with what they've been doing. I'm going to talk about the one that I actually will ultimately have the most to say about first, mainly because right now I don't have a lot to say about it. That is the Seize the Day surprise. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how many of them there are going to be, of each color, that kind of thing. I will do my typical video of my surprise horse conspiracy closer to time. I always like to kind of cheat and wait until they've announced as many of the auction models as they're going to before I do that video, because I do think that the auction models play in. I'm also going to do, in that same video, I'll talk about what I think some of the other special things that they might throw at us this year are going to be. So we'll start with Get This Party Started. It is a really pretty black pinto on the Croy mold. I think they call it some kind of pony. The Connemara, that's what it is. Connemara pony mold. It's super cute. I really like the color, but if you guys have watched this channel before, you know that I am not a huge fan of that mold. I won't be looking to purchase one, but that's just because it doesn't fit my personal collecting taste, not because I think it's ugly or bad or anything like that. So after that, Breyer does have one that they hooked me with. It is Let the Good Times Roll. It is the show jumping warm blood, which I am a sucker for. And it's in a really, really nicely done, it kind of looks like bay buckskin Appaloosa. I'm a bit of a sucker for that pattern too. And I believe that this one is glossy based on the pictures that they have given us. So I'm in on that one. I will try to get one. It is not one of the ones I picked up with my VIP ticket. I went ahead and got a couple of others that I really wanted, but it is going to be towards the top of my preferences list once we finally get to make those. But speaking of models that I did pick up with my VIP ticket is the next set, which is Good Times and Great Friends, which is really sappy of a name, but it definitely describes BreyerFest, as you guys have heard me talk before on this channel. It's the brand new Mustang Mare and Colt. I think that's what they are, Mustangs. They're a solid color, they're shiny, they're fantastic. Oh, there we go. These are the classic Gambler's Choice. That's what I'm opening right now. So I got one of those with my VIP ticket. I'm really happy about it. I think that it's a really good color to put on a new mold. And of course, once you make something shiny, I am in, which is why I have 3 of these guys to open right now. So next up is the decorator for this year. And it's called To the Ties That Bind Us. It's the silver mold in what looks like a fairly standard Wedgwood blue, but it has an Appaloosa pattern on it, but the pattern is made up of little silhouettes of Breyer models. I think this is really cool. Those of you who follow me on Instagram will know that I went to a show in Missouri last year. And while I was there, I took a picture of a really, really cool etched Hamilton mold on the Palomino saddlebred. And the etching were the tiny little silhouettes. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram just to show it off. It's not mine, it belongs to a friend. But I thought it was really cool. And then when Breyer released the first 3 of it looks like 5 they're going to make this year for their 75th anniversary specials, they kind of killed me by putting that pattern on a Lonesome Glory. So I bought it immediately. I love it. And I'm looking forward to seeing this one. It's not as high up my list because it is a decorator. And as much as I like silver, it is a silver, which is not a mold that I'm trying to conga. Oh, duplicate. But it is really pretty. I will possibly come home with it if I can. I'm just not going to make him a priority. But speaking of priorities, the next horse I want to talk about is Yellow, the Vanner version of the Brishin mold. And it's in this really pretty kind of a rosy gray, maybe not quite rose, but definitely a gray. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that mold. I ordered him with my VIP ticket. I couldn't help myself. I really wanted him. So I have one of those coming. I'm looking forward to it. I have no notes. He looks fantastic. Unless, of course, they decide to gloss him, in which case he looks even better. After that, Breyer released for us their vintage model for this year. And I've got to say, they stepped it up for the vintage guys this year. This is hats off to you. It is on the old timer mold, which is just a super cool, is this a Pinto as well? Oh no, at least it's something else. It's a super cool Appaloosa pattern. They've done a really good job with the painting on all of the hat and the harness that he's wearing. And then just to make him even more adorable, they added a little birthday party hat. So I'm going to try and get one. I'm not going to be super devastated if I don't, just because it's not a mold I conga, but I do think he's pretty cool and would like to bring him home with me. The next special run I want to talk about is called Life's a Journey. It is the animal model for this year. It's the Lassie/Collie mold. Super duper cute. It's done in kind of a gray, like Australian Shepherd looking color. At least I think that's the right breed that I'm referencing. I'm not a dog breed person. I can tell you what a Corgi is, and that's about it. But it's really cute. They've given it a really adorable little bandana with the logo and everything on it. I think it's adorable. I am trying to be very firm about not collecting the animals. So I'm not going to try to bring one home, but I do think they did a good job with what they chose for the animal this year. finally, we get to Future is Bright. It is on the new, I think it's a Acrylo mold. It was the Premier Club model from last year. It is a Palomino. And maybe some of you guys caught on that Breyer made a little bit of a mistake the other day. They sent out an email letting us know and reminding us that Wednesday, the 4th, was the last day to purchase BreyerFest tickets and still be able to fill out a preference form and not just get a wild card special run ticket. So it's a good incentive to buy, and you get to tell Breyer what you want as opposed to just kind of taking whatever they have. Here's where they screwed up. In this email, they included a picture of Future is Bright. I think Hats Off to You is in there, and maybe To the Ties of Iron. There were 3 horses. It doesn't matter which 3, except that Future is Bright was there. Here's the fun part. In the original picture that they put out, this gorgeous dapple Palomino has this flowy mane that we saw on the Premier Club model. That was the original picture. The email, however, shows no mane at all. So they've created, or they mocked up in Photoshop to mess with all of us, a roached mane version of Future is Bright. Now it still has the forelock, but it has no mane to speak of. It's kind of cool that they gave us this accidental hint, because I have absolutely no thoughts that they did this on purpose, unless they're trying to trick us, which I guess Breyer could do. But I think it was just an oversight. But we now know that, like in years past, there have been horses that have either a mane switch, or like last year with the Lipizan Stallion, there was a base and a no base version. This year, Future is Bright looks like it's going to be our 50-50 split with some kind of mold difference. And in this case, you'll get either the full mane or the roached mane. So that's kind of cool. Limited editions are what we used to just call the store specials. They're the ones that are available in the Breyer store at BreyerFest. You don't have to have a special run ticket to purchase them. You can just get in line and grab one. This year they have 4 traditional sized models, as well as a slew of other models that they also traditionally have. The first one they released is Bellissima Sapphire. Now this is, I believe all of these except the online only are portrait models of horses that are going to be at BreyerFest this year. They're going to be our special guests. And this Bellissima Sapphire is on the Just a Dream mold, the Arabian mold. It's a really pretty chestnut. The color is great. I'm not crazy about that mold, so I'm not as concerned about getting one. So I appreciate Breyer trying to be somewhat kind to my pocketbook. But I will say it's really pretty. And the color I'm looking forward to seeing in person, because it looks really nice. The next one is one of the ones I got with my VIP ticket. It is the new Welsh pony mold. It is black. I'm going to butcher the name except for the last part, so I'm just going to call it Nightlife. It's really pretty. I'm really looking forward to getting one in hand. The mold, when it came last year, I thought was a lot of fun and much bigger than I thought it was going to be, so that's kind of cool. But I am looking forward to getting my hands on one of those. I'm also looking forward to getting the next one, which is Bow and Arrow. I did get to see this one in person at Breyer Midwest, which was kind of cool. I posted a video on Instagram where I just kind of showed you the Breyer table, so you got to see some of these, the ones they brought with them. Bow is really nice in person. I honestly at this point cannot remember what my second limited edition was on my VIP ticket, but if I didn't get him, I am going to be after one. The Cleveland Bay mold is really pretty. It's not one of my favorites, but they knocked it out of the park with this color. So I'm going to have to try and snag one at BreyerFest. Now, the last traditional special run that they have for us is the online only special run, and that is Hoopla. Hoopla is a really nice bay pinto on the Bristol mold. I want one. That's kind of all I have to say there. I really like the jumping horse, really like that Bristol, and I'm going to try and snag one. All right, Stablemate time. I'm going to open some of the April Fool blind bags while we talk about the best of BreyerFest stablemates. These are specials and prizes from 2015, which is Vive la France. And I'm really excited about this set. Of course, I was at BreyerFest 2015. So I remember seeing these guys and actually have a parfait, which is the volunteer model from that year. So I'm really looking forward to being able to put Revelry, the mini, next to the big guy. Oh no, it's a repeat of the other Gambler's Choice duplicates. So, okay. Besides Revelry, though, they have given us Hullabaloo, which is a miniature of Sesbon, or however you're going to pronounce that one. Is it something else? No, don't be 4 of these. I just want 1 of each. That's 3. That's 3. I have 1 more. Okay. Then there's Jubilation, which is a miniature of Truffles, the diorama contest prize. Soiree, who's a miniature of, I think this is the same one, guys. I can feel it in the bag. No! Okay, well, Breyer got me with their April Fool's prank, and they sent me 4 of these. So I guess when I go to a show this weekend, I'm going to have to take them with me and see if somebody wants to trade. Anyway, Soiree is a miniature of the BreyerFest prize Creme de la Creme. It's really cool because it's on the newer kind of walking quarter horse mold. I think it's really pretty. I'm a fan of all of the molds actually that they chose for the stablemate set, so I'm really looking forward to that. The last one is a miniature of Toot Sweet. It is called Red Letter Day. It is the G2 Saddlebred mold, and it's really pretty, kind of a Grula color. So I'm looking forward to grabbing those. I think my favorite is, it might be Jubilation, it might be the mini Truffles, because I just really like that little fjord, but all of them are pretty cool. Let's talk about the other specials for this year. This year the crystal is called Standing Ovation. It is the clock saddlebred, which I think is absolutely perfect for an anniversary year, because it's kind of the iconic fancy Breyer. I'm really excited about it. But anyway, I think the crystal's really cool. I typically do try to grab the crystal just because I think they're neat. And ooh, this is getting to be a large stack. I'll try and grab the crystal again this year. I think it's really pretty. I think they chose a good mold. Next up is the plush, and this year they have done Pal, of course, but it's Pal in his birthday party finery. There's 2 different color hats, which I think is really cute. I might try and grab one of them. I like to get the plush a lot of the times, but I'm not going to try to get both of them. I think they chose something that really fits with the theme and also has a bit of that nostalgia, because I don't think we've had a true like Pal in a costume recently, which is kind of cool to see, kind of different. Then they did something they haven't done I don't know if they've ever done, to be rightfully honest. I'd have to go and look, so maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. But they have done one of the guest horses that is going to be at BreyerFest this year as a classic scale portrait model. This is game day surprise, and they've showed us pictures of the real horse, and that's why it's got the kind of odd collar around it. It's really pretty. It's on the Reigning Horse mold, the classic one, and I'll be really interested to see what that looks like in person, especially the little collar thing. I know it has a purpose, I know it has a name, but offhand, I can't think of what it is, and the only word that is coming to me is collar, so my apologies there. And the last horse that we have to talk about is Shindig. It is a stablemate on the George mold. Super duper cute. It's a little roan pinto. It is the online only stablemate for this year. So I'm looking forward to that. I think the George mold is really cute as a traditional, and I think the cuteness just doubles and triples when you shrink it down to stablemate size. And that's what we have. I think it's going to be fairly soon that Breyer is going to start giving us prize models and raffle models and auction pieces. And when they do, that is when I will start working on my surprise model conspiracy video, see if I can guess it. Past couple of years, the model has been in my top 5, so I'm hoping this year I'll actually hit the nail on the head. I was really close last year with Emerson, and as you know, a couple of years ago, Khaleesi got it right, so we're going to give her a chance to pick again this year too. So, final horses I'm going to show you. I know you saw him just a little bit when I was pulling him out of the box. This is from the Collectors Club Appreciation, and my Collectors Club Appreciation model is the Latigo. He's really pretty. My first choice was the Cosico, I've got to say, but everything looks better shiny. All right, that's all I have for you today. Keep an eye out here and on Instagram. There are going to be more videos leading up to BreyerFest. I want to show you guys our dioramas once we get them put together and talk about the surprise model. We'll also kind of talk about some tips for BreyerFest, especially with some of the new things that Breyer's got going on, and I'll let you know where you can find me that whole weekend. Until then, everybody just try to stay cool. It's getting hot out there, and I will see you next time. Bye. That was my power just flickering on and off, which is really cool because it was definitely not running the washing machine or anything. Okay, well, let's see if that picks back up.